Good morning, everybody. This is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. So this is one of my asked questions that I had really planned on, I guess, saving for my Sacred Secretion Masterclass, adding it into that type of routine there, but I think it's important to share whatever it is that you have and give selflessly in areas of your life, regardless of what's taking place. So here I am, and so this was an asked question, and this is about proper nutrition or what to eat to assist you here on your ascension process. Now, the first thing that I'm going to say is learn to listen to your body. Learn to listen to how the body expresses its very need. I will not tell you what to eat. That's not being responsible in my life. It is not being loving in my life, and it is not about me implementing a belief, regardless if I feel is beneficial to myself or not, into your system and making you limit yourself. That's why I began this video with saying, listen to the way that your body speaks to you. Now, of course, I am going to express to you about my experience. And then, of course, you know, this is something that I want you guys to kind of try to understand, that when I tell my story, it is allowing an individual to feel something that resonates with them, within themselves, that can create this type of resonance that can help you better understand your own life, and perhaps, which is what I'm hoping for, lead you down the right path, regardless of what I say, really. Because a true teacher is never going to give you written rules. They will give you a type of story and allow the individuals to make their own assumption based upon the resonance that they feel within themselves. So I hope that my stories are doing exactly what I know that Spirit is asking of me to do. So I'm going to go back early on in my process. And if you don't have time to listen to my videos, go ahead and add me to one of your video lists here on YouTube, and come back when you have time. I know that my stories can take up your time. But if you are on YouTube and you are seeking knowledge, then you are willing to put in the time for your own life to find different understanding and to seek different types of wisdom. And time is not going to be an issue for you. So I'm going back early on in my process, when I began to open up clairvoyantly in all areas, whether it was hearing, seeing, all of the clairs. And I believe the very first phrase that I ever heard when I was waking up was, "Be the light. Be the light." And of course, that is actually what I used as my name prior to using the Intimate Warrior, or being given the name the Intimate Warrior. Emotions are coming up. Emotions of love are coming up. And so that's what I attempted to do, of course, is to be more of the light. I really didn't. I still didn't know what that meant early on in my process. I was still opening up on my faith, etc., and communication with beyond what I could see. As, again, I continued on and trusting in what I was experiencing myself. The next phrase that I heard was, "Don't eat meat. You are a prophet. Don't eat meat." Of course, the first thing I said was, "You've got to be kidding me." One, I was in disbelief that I was a prophet. I didn't feel worthy enough of that title. And I definitely knew that the world was going to think I was crazy for ever using that title. And then I got to thinking about, well, why would God make me not eat meat? Doesn't He love me? And I'm saying He because back then I thought God was definitely a He. God is a masculine energy. But, and of course, that is probably why the word He has been expressed. But God is everything, both masculine and both feminine in one, with the expression because of bringing Christ's light to this earth plane, which represents and signifies the feminine energy of love, of inner intuition, of guidance, of giving. And therefore, of course, we all know that Christ is still God in human form. So God is both masculine and feminine energies combined to create that powerful force of all creation. And so I kept communicating with God, like, why would you do this to me? Why would you take something away from me that I have known my entire life? And for 2 weeks, I was just trying to ask questions and contemplate within myself why this was being asked about me, towards me, for me. Why was this being taken away from me? I felt again that I was being punished, really. After 2 weeks of this continued conversation within myself and with God, I finally began to understand that we walk by faith and not by sight. I began to understand that faith is things unseen. I began to understand that if we had faith, we were walking in faith. Now I use the Bible because I have resonance with the Bible's teachings, which has only began since I began to wake up. Prior to that, I refrained from that type of reading, teaching, and understanding because it was associated with religion. I have no part of any form of religion. I am the light itself, therefore I don't need it. If you, of course, have a religion and it gives you power and lifts you up, by all means, you continue to do so. I am not knocking any form of religious background. I just know from my experience, it has not resonated with me, and that's why I choose to not participate in a religion. So after realizing, after 2 weeks of that internal fight, that internal battle that I was experiencing with myself, I said, okay, I don't understand why this is being asked of me. Why something that I love so much is being taken from me. And I still did it. Doing that gave me knowledge. Giving up something of the self ended up giving me more knowledge. And it's about obedience. Something that your highest self is asking you to do in connection with God and therefore your purpose. And when you do it, is an expression of obedience. Well, obedience pertaining to what the Bible speaks about obedience, okay? Obedience comes when you choose to do something. So instead of me saying obedience, if you don't have true understanding about how obedience works in relationship to your own personal path in life, use the word choose or chosen. And again, that can be a little tricky of a word as well, because we often think that we are chosen, but in fact, we are the ones that choose. By me giving up meat, I was choosing the path of righteousness, not because I was being asked to not eat certain things, but because I was listening to the voice and I was trusting in the path, and that has true power that comes along with that. And so that's what I did. The first thing was eliminated the meat from my diet, and I did it cold turkey. It was very difficult. Of course, prior to that, I was already eating pretty much a plant-based diet with, of course, still eating meat. I had already been healthy. I was exercising. I was a fitness coach online, and so my meal plan was already intact. But because meat was removed from my everyday lifestyle, I had to figure out how to get more protein in. So I definitely upped my game in the plant-based diet area. And that is something I definitely love about being on the plant-based diet, is that there is a huge variety of protein. And it's very beneficial if that is the choice that you're making or are already currently doing. But along my path here, as God asked me to give up one thing, that meat, I was given something back that I hadn't had in about 20 years. I have had a severe allergy to onions and garlic for about 20-year period. And it happened very suddenly when it took place. And I became anaphylactic as a result of it. And so I refrained from eating anything with onions and garlic in it. So, of course, that meant packaging anything that's already prepared out there. Going to restaurants, I had to be very, very careful because everything has onions and garlic in it, some way, shape, or form. And for some reason, I ended up trying onions, and I just did a little bit to begin with, and I didn't have a reaction. Usually the smell of onions and garlic would already give me a form of a reaction, whether my breathing would become restricted or whatever. But I didn't have it, so I tried it. That entire summer, I think all I ate was onions. Everything changed. My taste buds were more enhanced because as we can use onions or seasonings anyway, it changes the complexity of all foods. And I was enjoying it the entire summer. I ate nothing but onions and my vegetables, and I was truly grateful for it. But then, all of a sudden, I had a reaction to it again. And I could no longer have it. And I figured it out on my own. There are just some things that those who are of the light, of pure light, may affect that light. And onions and garlic are just two. I can no longer have anything. My light can no longer function properly if I eat onions, garlic, too many spices in general, and anything hot. I have grown up eating hot foods. I am half Vietnamese, so that is a part of our staple. Not being able to eat it has been a challenge for myself because I love it so much. Although I can have wasabi. I can have wasabi as of now, and I'm enjoying that process of that. Now, I've gotten to the point that these I can'ts are not taking from me. And that's where you have to get into your path. Whatever your body is telling you that you should not be eating, because it is keeping you feeling dense. You have to trust it, and you have to know that by giving it up, sacrificing, you are doing so for your own personal light and gain. You are loving yourself. I have also learned my body. My body does not like milk products. My body does not like bread products. In excess, that is. I limit the amount that I take in because it limits me. I don't follow a set rule. I don't follow a plan out there that someone else is telling me to follow. I follow my own inner guidance. Your own inner guidance might be different, and you might be able to eat as much cheese as you want. I, for myself, am unable to, in excess. It creates too much yeast on the inside, inflammation in myself. I see that. I don't like it. I correct it. I am loving myself. You have to get to a point of really loving yourself to the point that you know, your mind knows, because you've trained your mind to truly understand what love is and not a limit. That what you are doing is giving you the greatest in its return. So, but the reason why, and after research, I have realized why onions, garlic, and hot pepper affects me. Why it makes sense, why I've had this allergy creep up, is because it is a tamasic. It's one of the 3 gunas. And this is a portion of Ayurveda, where they place it into a group, a category here, of the highest quality of food that is going to provide you with the greatest outcome. And they have it into 3 divisions here. And of course you can see it in my video. It's what I have placed in my video. Things that make you feel good, that give you goodness, keep you in harmony, that lift you, keep you peaceful, and keep your mind clear, are the sattvic foods. The ones that keep you in confused, maybe too overactive, maybe thinking in terms of passion and desire, often are the rajasic, and I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. And they also have eggplant within this area. And this is something that I ended up growing in my garden last summer, and maybe the summer prior to that as well. And I love eggplant, and I have always been able to eat eggplant in my past. But last 2 summers ago, when I first planted them, I ended up having another reaction within my mouth. And so I knew I could not have it. I know it has lots of acid within it. And so I knew that I wasn't able to have that. So that has definitely been added to my routine here. And radishes is something that does affect me as well, which is similar to the onion and garlic. These are more of the root products, things that are buried within the ground. Although you would think that it is going to be beneficial because it's connected. It's deeply connected with the earth, being underground, but that really has no relationship to it. I have had developed sensitivities to caffeine. So I have limited the type of coffee that I drink. I used to drink espressos because I used to just love that richness and the strength of what an espresso gives to you. Coffee has never affected me in the form of a stimulant that I felt anyway, but I began to feel ill as my light quotient began to develop more. It did feel as if it was keeping me heavy. So I switched to decaf, which still has a very small amount of caffeine in it, but I am not drinking it in excess. I do have 1 cup of coffee per day, at least, and sometimes I don't even have that. And then you will have the tamasic, as I've already mentioned, and that is where the category of onions, garlic, potatoes, anything that's fermented, vinegar is also on this list, and this is also something that I cannot digest properly. Now, all of these things, the fermented foods especially, are really pushed on society because they say that it helps as a probiotic, gut health. Now I have been questioning the true reasoning behind it. Is it really to help you, or there to suppress you? Because these are very heavy, very heavy. Now again, this is something that I'm asking for you to really use your own judgment in your life. If it makes you feel bad, stop doing it. If it makes you feel good, and it's still on these lists and categories, however, wherever it is, then stick with it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Your life is going to change dramatically in this process. You're going to be able to eat something one day, and then eventually you're not going to. I know my diet has fluctuated by what I was able to eat. There are periods, like for a month-long period, where all I was eating was green beans. Green beans. That's all that I had the ability to swallow during that time. And then there's times when all I could eat was spinach in my diet, which spinach is one of the highest on that food chain and giving you great nutrition in forms of its greenery. So you really have to trust at what you're doing in your life. Am I strict at what I eat? I don't feel so. I am really open to it. And I know that what my body is telling me to do is also what God wants me to do, because I am highly connected continuously. And I trust continuously. And I know that what I am doing is not going to make me feel bad, because I have complete faith and trust in it. I rarely now ever eat anything, of course, unless I have onions in it or spices, things like that, that mistakenly got into my food, of course, that makes me feel bad. And if it does make me feel bad, it's because I wasn't aware that something was in it like I shouldn't be eating. And I make sure to never eat in excess any longer. But I'm at that point in my process that's impossible to do now, because I am so internally aware of the functioning of my body that when my stomach says you are full, it's automatically triggering to stop. And I stop, and I'll come back to eating later on if that's what I choose. But I also fast. I used to fast purposefully in the beginning, training myself and allowing myself to develop a greater relationship with God, with Source. I used to do it as a part of a sacrifice of myself in the very beginning. So from after dinner time into sometimes the next dinner, I have blocked off every single day, pretty much, my fasting. It's natural. It takes place regardless if I am truly intentional. It has become a part of my program now. Of course, there are days when I go from dinner time and I wake up first thing and I eat. And it's okay. It doesn't matter. How long you fast is not as important as you fasting. And if you have never completed a fast, I do ask that you begin slow. And you may want to try this at nighttime only, because you need to train yourself slowly to go without food for a longer period of time. So kind of start again. Eat an early dinner. Stop eating by 6 or 7, however long you are up after that. And continue it, whether till morning, till mid-morning, till lunch, however long you can go. And to make sure that you aren't beating yourself up for not making it as long as you had planned. I also want to express, before I let you guys go, that along my journey, I have made a connection with God, and I have asked, and this was a while back anyway, that asking, can I eat meat? You know, I was going through some things, a situation here, an experience, and so I asked, and I was given permission to. And that, of course, gave me even more understanding as to why certain things are asked of us, and or why we are unable to really have things, because it causes a reaction within us. And it's all about faith and trust. God doesn't want to limit you. You know that. He is all. He is all. God is all. And limitless. Therefore, our faith must be all and limitless. If our faith is holding us back, if anything in our lives are holding us back, we need more faith. And this is the process of increasing our faith. When we are increasing our faith, we are increasing the self-love from within. We are trusting every single thing that we are going through. Therefore, we are going to choose the greatest option for ourselves afterwards. So keep that in mind. We are not being asked to limit ourselves. In no way, shape, or form. We're being asked to grow. And sometimes when we grow, we have to, all the time, when we are growing, we have to eliminate something. And that elimination can seem like we are losing something. Something that we have always had. Something that we have always kind of, relied on. Perhaps even enjoyed. But it's time to let it go, because when we let anything go in our lives, we are going to be rewarded. And the more that you can really trust in your honest expression, you're trusting in your own personal light, which means you are in definite trust of what the Creator has planned for you. So as you can see, I am still suffering. I am still experiencing vocal changes still, enhancements here. And I don't have any pain. I don't have a limitation other than just the changes in my voice is still present here. I feel great. Maybe fatigue may come and go. Fogginess in the brain is still present sometimes. I also wanted to mention before I say goodbye for the day is that I think in one of my other videos I expressed what the orb was, in that it was turning now. And the orb is, if you missed that video, is my Merkaba. And I ended up being able to see it one day when I went outside, and I saw its rotation because the light was reflecting on my Merkaba now. But now my Merkaba is continuously moving, and I can see it regardless if I am in light or in darkness, because now my Merkaba has been strengthened. I have made all of the major connections. I have built both left and right sides of my pillars, of course, because without that you cannot even go towards your Merkaba. The center pillar is intact via the silver cord. Now what I am doing is waiting. I am waiting for everything to still align as it is supposed to. And that's why I, for myself, am experiencing from time to time the fogginess in my brain, and the tiredness. I am receiving things of my past self, past lives, and information pertaining to who I am. And it's coming in very subtly. I actually saw a lot last night being given information pertaining to the evolution of time. And I have been for the past couple of days. But this information isn't something that I can give. It comes so quickly, combined with so many other images from so many time frames, that it's still a blur. All of that is a blur because it's not meant to be understood at this current moment in my life. Information is going to come in slowly because we are loved continuously. Be patient in what comes in to your awareness, or what doesn't come into your awareness yet. You are receiving something regardless if you know what it is. And in time, as you are persistent in loving yourself and trusting in this path, everything is going to align and everything is going to make sense. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I would love to know about your experience with perhaps the same foods that I have been expressing here in this video, or anything else within your own personal experience that has made you feel heavy or not feeling quite like yourself. I would love to hear that part of your life. I love hearing about your life in general. So whether it's in this video or any other video in the future, please don't be afraid to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification, and share the love. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.